One more time for James here for our host. I've known James a long time, and every time I see him perform, especially when there's black people in the audience, I'm like, who's going to tell him he's white? He's lived a long time, And was anyone else entertained about like an older man complaining about modern music? Like that was the funniest thing. I was like, yeah, you don't look like somebody Carly Rae Jepsen is trying to appeal to. She doesn't care about your opinion on this. She's fine. He's a great guy, but I was worried like for you for what you were thinking when like a large man with like, knives and a horror movies like talking to you like, yeah, I think you're a really attractive woman. And you're like, I think I need to go. Like I think I need to. I'm just kidding. I do enjoy James a lot. He's and he helped me when I first started doing comedy. So he's a great guy. My name's Drew. I'm a comedian. You're like, we'll see. We don't know yet. Before I did comedy, I was a youth pastor for 15 years. That's a weird thing to tell people. Like, people like it when you are a youth pastor. They're like, oh, good for you. But when you say you used to be a youth pastor, yeah, they're like, why? So let me just go ahead and answer the two questions you're all wondering. Yes, I still believe in God, and no, I didn't do that. Usually at my shows, I have like 10 minutes worth of youth pastor jokes, and then recently this lady came up to me after the show, and she came up, she's like, I could do without the youth pastor pedophile jokes. And I was like, okay, that's fair. I could do without youth pastor pedophiles. Stop giving me source material is all I'm saying. Now, I normally work like clean youth pastor jokes, but this feels like the place for my most dirty youth pastor jokes. And I tell you guys, I have one joke I can't do when I talk about youth pastor stuff, but it feels like your speed. So here's my most dirty youth pastor joke. So one of the things I used to have to do for my job was like I'd go to sporting events or extracurricular activities for students, and like I'd give like the devotional in between like halftime or something like that. So long story short, there I was in a middle school locker room, just me and the boys, which is weird. And so I'm giving a devotional, and in the back I see this child masturbating. I'm not gonna lie, my first thought was, I am so good at preaching the word of God, but this child is confusing the Holy Spirit with hormones, and man. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but I didn't know what to do. Like, I finally stopped and was like, excuse me, do you want to finish or can I? Like, it's just, everyone always talks about youth pastors violating kids, but who would I talk to about the kids violating the youth pastor? I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm getting the reputation in Nashville as being the best gay, clean comedian. Thing is, I'm straight. And, here's something I've been noticing lately that's happening. Oftentimes in conversations, there gets to be this confusion where like they think I'm gay and I think I'm straight, and it leads to all kinds of confusing ends to the conversation, right? I'll give you a perfect example. A few months ago, and the comedians will back me up on this, if you're ever hosting at a comedy club, like your dream is for the headliner to hear you, and he's so enamored with your set that they're like, hey, come on the road with me. Like, that's guaranteed work, that's probably more money, more publicity, it's a great thing. And you all, a few months ago, that almost happened. And so I was opening for this headliner. First of all, she thought I was gay just like you did 5 minutes ago. Okay? And I'll be honest, he was looking at me like, should I leave my girl for him? I don't know. Maybe. But, so she's enamored with my set, but she's also really old, so there's like a bit of a language barrier there. But at first, I don't pick up on that. So she's coming up to me, and she's saying things that I should have known. She looked at me, she's like, more people need to hear from people like you and your demographic, which is a straight white male. I was like, yes, more people do need to hear from people like me. Not enough, honestly. And then she asked me a question I'd never heard. She said, "Are you part of the family?" You guys know what that means? You know that question? I'd never heard of it. That's right. So, okay, let me educate you because we're laughing and learning together tonight. Back in like the 1400s or whatever she's from, you couldn't openly talk about sexuality. So if you were wanting to know if it's a safe place if the other person's gay, you could say, "Are you part of the family?" And if they were gay, they'd say, "Yes, I invite you." So you know this to be true. Okay, cool, yeah. I didn't know. So when she asked if I was part of the family, I thought she was asking like, "Are you Italian?" And I was like, "Yeah, when you're your family, that's our thing." And like things are going better. She's taking my business card. We're setting up the tour. It's going great. And then I realized what was going on. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not gay." Not for the first time in my life. A woman lost complete interest in me after knowing I was straight. She gave me my business card back. And she said, "Call me when you suck a dick and I'll take you on tour." So we're going on tour next week. I'm going to I do. I used to be. I did grow up Christian. I did grow up in a certain version of Christianity where they would often. It was very. What's the word? Bigoted? Yes, that's the word. So like, I'm grateful for comedy because comedy and being in stand-up comedy, it's helped expand my horizons a lot. But when I first started comedy, because of my voice, because of my everything else, people would make fun of me because they call me gay and stuff like that. And when I was younger, that used to really bother me a lot. It really offended me. Like, for example, this one time, this one comedian, she just looks at me and she's like, "I don't think you think you're gay." And then she said, "And I have a really good gaydar." And you all, the best day of my life happened a few months later when she found her husband cheating on her with a man. Oh. And I was like, "Where's your gaydar now, bitch?" And she quit comedy, so I went. Like that's how the world works. Sorry. I don't know why I'm saying sorry. I'm so anti-confrontational. I felt like I offended somebody there. Like, well, if you're a lady that has talked to a man before, my bad. Like, I am single, and I think the real reason I'm single is because I will never love a woman as much as I love the Fast and Furious series. That's just the way I am obsessed. Do I have any other Fast and Furious fans? Yeah, one of them. It's never like, I never get like the whole room, but I'll take like one other person. I get oddly defensive over that movie franchise not too long ago. I was talking about it with a friend, and they're like, "I don't know, man, I think they should have just ended after 6. I was like, "I think you should have ended after 6. I know. I ruined a date once because of Fast and Furious. And I know the most shocking part of that sentence was I said, "I've been on a date once." But we were dating, we were talking, and so she's like, "Well, what's your favorite movie series?" And I'm like, "Well, I didn't think there was a second date, so I'll be honest. My favorite movie is the Fast and Furious 5 because it's like Avengers but with cars." I hate that. That's not a punchline or a joke. That's my honest opinion. People are like, "That's hilarious. That's such a dumb. Imagine being that dumb." And then she got so angry at me. She's like, "Ugh, I could never watch such an unbelievable, stupid, ridiculous, unrelatable movie." I was like, "Okay, what's your favorite movie?" This bitch. She was like, "I like romantic comedies." No. Right? You're gonna tell me that romantic comedies are more believable than Fast and Furious? Please. And I'll be honest. In one of my movies, The Rock does punch a torpedo and redirects it and saves an entire city. Kind of unbelievable. Here's a fun joke that I think only you will appreciate, which is why I'm gonna move over and direct. One time I missaid that Rock joke, and I said he punched a tornado. And it didn't change the joke at all because I was talking about Fast and Furious. There was like a movie director in the audience who's like, that's not a bad idea for Fast 11, actually. Right? Yeah, I'm with it. And then throw in Jurassic Park. That is the movie franchise trilogy we need. She's telling me romantic comedies are more believable than Fast. Please, do you know why there's no sequel to any romantic comedy? Because it would end with your favorite couple getting a divorce, just like 80% of American marriages, alright? Amen, single ladies. That movie Love Actually, the sequel would be Love Actually Sucks. The Notebook, the sequel to The Notebook, The Manifesto. But, and hang with me on this one, Twin Kegs. If you go to The Rock's TikTok page right now and look at his workout routine and see how much that dude lifts, kind of conceivable his punch could redirect a torpedo. You tell me what's more unrealistic, romantic comedies or Fast and Furious? That's all I'm saying. You're like, he should have ended after one Fast and Furious joke. But if the movies keep going, so am I. Alright? I have a podcast about the Fast and Furious, the Quarter Mile podcast. That's not a joke. That's a real thing. It's hard to say with a straight face. But I have a co-host who's a young female, and I noticed the double standard we've been getting lately. Like after our first episode, this same person texted like her name's Bailey, and we kept texting in the message, it's like, Bailey, put away that microphone so we can see more of your pretty face, right? And then like in one of mine, they're like, you have a creepy looking face. Recently, someone sent her a Lego, like a Fast and Furious Lego built set just to show appreciation. We've only had 3 episodes. Where's my Legos? Is all I'm saying. It's not fair. I'm absolutely fascinated by dolphins. Have you guys been thinking about dolphins lately? Dolphins are a fun animal. They were weird. When's the last time you just sat down and just thought about a dolphin? It's been a while, right? Yeah. Here's a fun dolphin fact for you to take home with you. We're laughing and learning together. Fun dolphin fact. Dolphins, apart from humans, are the only other mammals that have sex for fun. They do it in the sea just like we do it on land. And when I learned that, I was like, how did we learn that science? Like, how did that become a thing? And so I actually Googled, how do we know dolphins have sex for fun? Which is a weird thing. Like, thank God I didn't get in a car wreck. And then the police saw that as my last Google. And it's like, just let him die. Just let him. Here's how we know. Apparently, dolphins will have sex with anything under the sea, whether it wants to or not, whether it's living or not. Yeah! Dolphins are the sexual predators of the sea! They are! I think that would make a fantastic To Catch a Predator episode, right? Zooming on in there, and Chris Hansen, hey, what do you think was going to go on here? Look at that. That was a few years of being a gymnast when I was a kid and trying to be athletic. Right there. I'm not gay, I promise. I wish I could say that's the last of my dolphin bit, but see, here's what's been happening when I've been traveling with this routine. Random people who still aren't sending me Legos of dolphins, what they are sending me are random videos of more dolphin facts. And the more I learn about the dolphins, the creepier it gets. For example, this is my most recent. You already know these, right? Like, I can tell you knowingly, this is a creepy fact, and I have to turn to the guys and say, because it feels weird to tell the ladies. Dolphin penises aren't shaped like our penises. Dolphin penises have little arms that hold things down while they fuck it! Oh, God. That is an offensive fact. That is the correct face. I am sorry. And here's one of my biggest problems. Like, all my life, I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian. I'm still a Christian. I've been defending God to strangers. People are like, God's not misogynist. Or people are like, God's misogynistic. God only cares about men. Or God's like sexist. And I'm like, no, God's not sexist. But he did invent an animal with an arm on his penis that holds things down. Like, that's what I have to say. And that is my dirtiest joke that I have. I just want you to know we're in a safe space. That's as bad as it gets for me. But what's funny is a while ago sometimes I open for these headliners and they're way more raunchy than me. And this one comedian in particular says after our first show together, Drew, you gotta blow it up a little bit before they bring me up. Like, I'm way dirtier than you, and they're not ready for me. He's like, I need you to do dirtier material. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He says, do you have any sex jokes? And then my question was, do you mean human sex jokes? Which is a really weird conversation with a stranger. And also, ladies, not a bad way to get out of creepy dudes trying to have sex with you. Next time someone's like, hey, do you want to have sex? If you respond with, you mean human sex? Either they leave or that's a big red flag. Well, I do feel, this is my last joke, and I'm telling that mostly to give James a chance to finish his wings. Like, I would hate to be in the middle. Okay, good, okay, great. I want to be the comedian that the standard is just like, I hope he tells jokes long enough that I can finish eating. That's the goal for me in my life. Not he's funny, and I'm like, I just need a break. Let's bring up someone for 10 minutes. Okay. Some people get offended when I use the word frat boys, is what I learned. Because I've been talking about how dolphins are the frat boys of the sea, is what I said, and some guy got really pissed off at me. And what happened was we were at a bar, and I looked over and I saw these 3 guys I knew from high school, and I was like, ugh, look at those frat boys over there, is what I said. And my friend, who's more PC than me, he looks at me and he's like, hey, it's 2024. They're called fraternity brothers, because frat boys has a negative male chauvinistic connotation we don't want to extend. I said, okay, those same guys called me Drew Gavis all in high school. I'm still calling them frat boys. Okay? Thank you guys so much.